Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5 best GPU for gaming. Starting at number 5. AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT. The RTX 3090 may have sat unchallenged at the top rungs of graphics performance at launch. But it wouldn't be long until AMD wrestled together a challenger in the RX 6900 XT, or Big Navi. The RX 6900 XT hopes to knock Ampere's finest from its perch on high and send it spiraling back down to earth. And it gets kind of close, too, with 4K performance a little off the pace of the RTX 3090. And all for 1/3 off the asking price. For that reason, it's simply the better buy for any PC gamer without any ulterior motives of the procreator variety. But there's a reason it's not number 1 in our graphics card guide today. And that's simply due to the fact it's not that much better than an RTX 3080, and sometimes not at all. With a $350 price premium over the RX 6800 XT, the RX 6900 XT offers little return on your sizable investment. The RX 6900 XT is 53% more expensive than the RX 6800 XT yet offers just 25% more performance in games. That's why it's strange that AMD is making a point of the RX 6900 XT being a card built for gaming first. Even Nvidia didn't make that mistake, billing the RTX 3090 as a procreator card with a substantial increase in memory capacity over the second-run gaming card below to help justify the cost. It's far more difficult to justify the cost of the RX 6900 XT, sharing as many qualities with far cheaper cards as it does and with the slight performance gain it's able to deliver from its few upgrades. Coming at number 4. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3070. Perhaps the only high-end Ampere that's anything close to reasonably affordable. The RTX 3070 is also impressive for its ability to match the top-string touring graphics card, the RTX 2080 Ti, for less than half of its price tag. At $499, it's still a significant sum by any means. We're talking next-gen console equivalent pricing here. But it's hardly an exorbitant sum when compared to PC gaming's top graphics silicon today. In return, you're gifted a 4K capable graphics card that doesn't require too much fiddling to reach playable, if not high, frame rates. And it'll absolutely smash it at 1440p, no question about that. It's a little surprising to see the RTX 3070 Founders Edition still sporting the 12-pin power connector of the RTX 3080, and therefore it comes with a single 8-pin to 12-pin adapter in the packaging. And of course, you have ray tracing and the ever-improving DLSS enhancements. That's a lot to add onto the impressive raw performance that the RTX 3070 offers. And it does make a difference to a lot of people. At number 3. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. The best value Ampere to date, the RTX 3060 Ti is very closely related to the RTX 3070. Both utilize the same GA104 GPU, the RTX 3060 Ti has fewer SMs enabled, with the same 8GB of GDDR6 memory across a 256-bit bus, while 17% less capable in core count than its pricier sibling. The RTX 3060 Ti makes up for it with some judicious GPU boost frequencies. That partially explains why the RTX 3060 Ti can be within 17% to just single digits off the pace of the RTX 3070, despite operating at a silicon disadvantage. Not bad for a $399 card, if you can find it for that price. There's exceptional 1080p and 1440p performance in a tiny package here, the likes of which would have set you back something close to twice as much cash a couple of years ago. And that's pretty great. This card is even capable of dabbling with high-fidelity 4K gaming. Although you're going to have to massage some graphics settings in order to really crack a solid 60 frames per second in more demanding games. And that's often just in terms of average frame rates. To keep your GPU above 60 frames per second requires a lot of tinkering. That can sometimes take the fun out of 4K gaming in the first place. It's a much smoother affair at 1440p, and at 1080p you can pretty much max everything out and just go. Number 2 of my list. AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT. As a red team alternative to Nvidia's high-end graphics cards, there have been few finer than the RX 6800 XT. A highly competitive card that comes so close to its rival, with a nominal performance differential to the RTX 3080. Is truly an enthusiast card worth consideration for any PC gamer with 4K in their sights. The RX 6800 XT was the first of AMD's RDNA 2 GPUs to enter the fray. And while we've had plenty of other cards since, this is the one that shines brighter than most and makes the most sense financially. At least it does if you consider its MSRP. And with AMD's GPUs returning to reasonable price levels quicker than Nvidia's, this could actually give the red team the edge in the short term. A key battleground for Nvidia and AMD this generation has been on the memory front, covering both bandwidth and capacity. Some 1,664 GB per second, by AMD's making a 3.25x improvement over the RX 6800 XT's raw bandwidth. In gaming terms, it means you're looking at similar performance, despite the very different underlying technologies. It's a tough call between the RX 6800 XT and the RTX 3080. But the latter pips AMD to the post with the final touches a la RTX. The RX 6800 XT is $50 cheaper, delivers high 4K performance, and a hefty VRAM increase over the RTX 3080. However, it's easy to argue that an extra $50 dropped on the RTX 3080 is money well spent. A small price to pay for greater 4K performance, much improved ray tracing, and DLSS. All are available today and with years of developer support in the bank. And number 1. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080. Okay, right now, the RTX 3080 is as rare as pigeon eyelashes. But there is no doubt Nvidia's new RTX 3080 is the best graphics card out there today. It represents a huge generational performance boost over the previous RTX 20 series. That's impressive when put up against either the RTX 2080 or 2080 Super. But when you consider that this nominally $699 card cannot just match, but massively outperform the $1,200 RTX 2080 Ti, it really hits home. The thing which really stands out from our testing is the difference it makes to ray tracing performance. The first generation of ray tracing capable cards required such a huge frame rate sacrifice that most people shied away from turning it on, but that's no longer the case with this generation. The RTX 3080 may need a fair chunk more power. You'll want at least an 850W PSU. And be tricky to get hold of, but this is the most desirable graphics card around today. Which I guess is also why it's so tricky to get hold of. If there was one bit of advice for buying a GeForce RTX 3080, it would be that it's worth trying to get your hands on the Founders Edition if at all possible. Pick your expletive, because the RTX 3080 Founders Edition is ing great. Far from just being the reference version of the flagship Ampere graphics card, because of that cooler and redesigned PCB, it is the ultimate expression of the RTX 3080. And if you end up with another version of this fine-ass GPU, then I'm afraid you're likely to feel a little hard done by. Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.